In the heart of a forgotten town, shrouded in mist and whispered legends, stood the timeless hotel, an edifice that defied the passage of time. Its grand facade, a haunting blend of architectural styles, suggested it had been standing for centuries, though no records of its construction existed. The locals avoided it, speaking in hushed tones of guests who entered its doors, only to vanish without a trace, allegedly slipping into different eras. Jonathan, an intrepid journalist with a penchant for the paranormal, could not resist the lure of such a mystery. Armed with his notebook and a skeptical mind, he checked into the timeless hotel, determined to uncover its secrets. The lobby was an eerie time capsule, blending elements from various epochs. Victorian chandeliers cast a dim glow over Art Deco furniture, and the air was thick with an indefinable scent, as if the centuries had imbued the walls with the essence of bygone eras. The concierge, a gaunt figure with timeless features, handed Jonathan a key with a knowing smile, whispering, "Your room is ready, sir. But beware, time flows differently within these walls." Jonathan's room was a bizarre mix of eras, with an ancient four-poster bed and a 1920s phonograph that played haunting, wordless tunes. As night deepened, the hotel seemed to awaken, whispers echoing down the corridors, and the hands of the ornate clock in the hallway spinning wildly, as if caught in a temporal storm. Venturing out, Jonathan felt the fabric of reality thinning. The corridors twisted and turned, leading him through doorways draped in cobwebs, into rooms that were snapshots of different ages. In one, a 19th-century séance was in full swing, the participants unaware of his presence. In another, a 1940s jazz band played to a crowd of dancers who moved as though underwater, their faces blurred and indistinct. The deeper Jonathan explored, the more the hotel revealed its true nature, a nexus point where time streams intersected, allowing guests to slip unwittingly into other eras. But these were not mere echoes of the past, they were living, breathing moments, trapped within the hotel's walls. In the bowels of the hotel, Jonathan discovered an ancient library, its shelves buckling under the weight of arcane tomes that whispered secrets of time travel and dimensional rifts. The timeless hotel, it seemed, was built on a place where the boundaries between times were weakest, its foundation stones etched with sigils that harnessed this power. But knowledge came at a cost. The hotel, sentient and hungry, fed on the life force of its guests, pulling them into its temporal web, where they became part of its endless, looping history. Jonathan realized with horror that to escape, he would need to outwit the hotel itself, navigating its shifting corridors and timelines to find the original, unaltered moment of the hotel's creation. His journey was a phantasmagoria of horrors, rooms where time flowed backward, corridors that aged him years in mere steps, and specters of former guests, trapped in loops of their worst nightmares. Each step forward was a battle against the very essence of time, with the hotel's malevolent spirit seeking to ensnare him. In a climactic confrontation in the hotel's ancient heart, beneath the lobby where all its timelines converged, Jonathan used the knowledge gleaned from the arcane tomes to disrupt the sigils, breaking the hotel's hold over the temporal rifts. As reality itself buckled and twisted around him, he made a desperate leap through a collapsing doorway. Emerging into the light of day, the timeless hotel, its power broken, crumbled into dust behind him, its existence erased as if it had never been. Jonathan, forever changed, walked away with a story that no one would believe, his mind haunted by the echoes of lost time and the souls he could not save. The timeless hotel was gone, but its legend lived on, a cautionary tale of curiosity in the dangers of meddling with the fabric of time. And somewhere, in the mist-shrouded heart of a forgotten town, the ground where it once stood lay empty, waiting for the next unwitting architect to build upon its cursed foundation. As Jonathan walked away from the ruins of the timeless hotel, the air around him shimmered with a residual energy, a reminder of the unnatural forces he had just escaped. The town, once overshadowed by the ominous presence of the hotel, seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief, its inhabitants emerging from their homes as if waking from a long, oppressive dream. But the story was far from over. Jonathan, carrying the weight of his experiences, felt an unshakable connection to the hotel's lost souls and the twisted corridors that had almost claimed him. He was haunted by visions of the hotel's many eras, each one a puzzle piece of a much larger, more disturbing picture. Determined to prevent such a phenomenon from occurring again, Jonathan delved deeper into the arcane knowledge he had discovered in the hotel's ancient library. He learned of other places around the world, thin spots where the fabric of time was vulnerable, and of secret societies that sought to exploit these rifts for their own dark purposes. As he traveled, investigating these mysteries, Jonathan found himself slipping into a role he had never anticipated: guardian against temporal aberrations. Each location brought new challenges, from time-lost artifacts that threatened to rewrite history, to entities that existed between seconds, feeding on the life energy of those who strayed too close to the temporal void. His travels led him to allies, others who had sensed the disturbances in the fabric of time and sought to mend them. Together, they formed a network, sharing knowledge and resources to combat the growing threats. They were historians, scientists, mystics, and survivors of time anomalies, each bringing their own experiences and expertise to the table, but with each victory, the dangers grew more complex. The entities behind these temporal disturbances were learning, adapting to Jonathan and his allies' tactics. The battle was not just against the anomalies themselves, but against a malevolent intelligence that seemed to be orchestrating these events from the shadows, its motives as inscrutable as time itself. Jonathan's journey became a race against this unseen adversary, a struggle to protect the timeline from manipulation and exploitation. Each encounter with a temporal rift was a battle not just for the present, but for the integrity of history itself. The climax of this ongoing battle brought Jonathan back to the site of the timeless hotel, now a benign, empty lot. Here, he and his allies faced their greatest challenge, a convergence of temporal rifts, threatening to unravel time itself. The battle was fierce, with reality bending and twisting around them, history rewriting itself with each passing moment. In the end, it was Jonathan's intimate knowledge of the timeless hotel, the first battleground, that turned the tide. He recognized patterns in the chaos, echoes of the hotel's many timelines that provided the key to sealing the rifts. As the final rift closed, the world around them stabilized, but the victory was bittersweet. The unseen adversary remained at large, its plans thwarted but not defeated. Jonathan knew this was but a reprieve in an ongoing war, a war that would require constant vigilance. As he stood with his allies, amid the quiet of the once cursed site, Jonathan realized that his life had irrevocably changed. He was no longer just a journalist seeking the truth, he was a guardian of time, a role that he had never sought but now could not abandon. The timeless hotel was gone, but its legacy lived on in Jonathan and those who stood with him, a reminder of the fragility of time and the courage required to protect it. And somewhere, in the shadowy folds between seconds, the unseen adversary waited, plotting its next move in the timeless battle.